If you ask the average person, they believe that wealthy individuals have taken extraordinary risks to get the outcomes that they're enjoying. It's actually not the case. Beyond investing and saving, I'm about to teach you how you can grow and accelerate wealth in your life. Wealthy people actually accomplish their success in a very different way by placing asymmetrical bets. Now, let me explain what an asymmetrical bet is and how you can apply it even today in your life. Asymmetrical bets occur when you put in limited time and or money into an investment opportunity, which we'll talk about in a moment, that has a downside cap of what you've invested, but has an explosive upside potential of hundreds or even thousands of times your time and or money. What you don't want to do is invest all of the money that you have only to lose that and regret the day that you ever considered the opportunity. One example of an asymmetrical bet is investing in a skill. So, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you might be doing right now for a living, you may invest some money there to become better and better at your skill. By doing so, you might spend $200 or $1,000 on a particular certification, but this could yield $10,000 more in annual salary. This is an example of an asymmetrical return. The second is that you could learn to become an effective communicator. Warren Buffett famously said that if a person can communicate effectively, they will earn as much as 50% more throughout the course of their lifetime. So you might invest in public speaking courses or learn to write emails and text messages very effectively without using ChatGPT to do the work for you. A third might be to build your own online brand, your own personal brand. So the downside risk here is that you might have some bruised ego and some wasted time in making some videos. But if you're successful, this could pay off into the thousands or even millions of dollars over time. A fourth example of an asymmetrical bet would be to invest your skills into a startup company, helping them, but instead of taking payment, you take equity in their company. If that pans out for you, you can have an extraordinary return, and you've only invested these initial skills in the startup mode of their business. Another variation of that would be to use your skills and trade it at your work for higher bonuses and or additional equity in their company. So that's another way that you could get it done and have bigger outcomes than just more salary. Another way that you could get it done is by investing some of your money into a small startup company. You can either do that online or you might run into someone locally who you can invest in that you're excited about their business opportunity. And finally, and the way that I was able to become a multimillionaire before I was 29 was by starting my own business. Now, Sarah and I took similar but different roads, but we both made asymmetrical bets. For me, when I was young, I learned to program really, really well. I'm talking in the 1980s here and early 1990s, and I was an exceptional coder. Using those skills, I was able to start my own business in video games, which I sold in 1992. And then in 1993, I co-founded Take-Two, the publisher of Grand Theft Auto. And that really started and ignited and led to an amazing career and all of the opportunities that I've had in my lifetime. Sarah took it a little bit differently, but she made an asymmetrical bet as well. She first received her CPA, her Certified Public Accounting license, after school, and then began working for, it used to be a Big Eight firm back then, for a large accounting firm. And then she got into consulting with an eye in moving into marketing. She was ultimately able to do that and ended up in some extraordinary transactions. For example, she was one of the team that led Converse from being essentially bankrupt, out of bankruptcy, and being sold to Nike. Later, she was able to reach her dream of becoming a chief marketing officer, and she's worked at great places like Jenny Craig and Drybar and GLD. So we both approached it a little bit differently, but these asymmetrical bets paid off for both of us. And this is how we were able to go from, really nothing to being multimillionaires. If you are considering starting a business as one of your asymmetrical bets, I highly encourage you to work with me and work with Sarah. And why? Because we have 70 years combined experience doing this, and we've been winning since we were both in our 20s. We've also taken some lumps on our heads, which you'll be able to learn from and avoid because we've already made those mistakes. I could go on and on about our credentials. Sarah has her own agency, Hoffman Agency, which is a multi-million-dollar agency just by itself. And I have been involved in many, many transactions as an investor and or operator. I have 2 IPOs on the NASDAQ, and I did one in Paris. And I have sold a number of businesses as well. So we've got those 9-figure exits under our belts, and we encourage you to sign up and to meet with us and see if we can be a good fit together and help you take your business to its next level.